For the first time in 101 years, the American Civil Liberties Union has elected its first black president. Deborah Archer, a civil rights lawyer and law professor at NYU, is now the 8th president of the ACLU. She makes history as the first African American to lead the civil rights organization's 69-person national board. And Deborah Archer is here with us now to discuss the organization's commitments and top priorities under her leadership. Madam President, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So your position at the ACLU comes at a time when the United States is re-engaged in discussions about injustices and civil unrest. What are you hoping to get done as president?
So what you say is correct, that this past year, it's really hard to understate how important it is for all of us to join the fight for racial equity, to challenge racial discrimination. And I'm looking forward to working with the ACLU to make racial justice a priority.
So let's talk about the systemic equality agenda. What is it, and what does the organization hope comes out of it?
Yeah, I think we can't look at everything that happened over this last year and not believe that racial justice has to be at the forefront of the ACLU's work. At its core, the work of the ACLU is about really trying to close the gap between the America that was promised and the America that is, and fighting to advance racial justice has been central to the work of the ACLU since our inception. But really at this moment, I think we need to double down and prioritize our efforts to challenge how racism persists in its power. So we've recently launched our systemic agenda, our systemic equality agenda, and that is the ACLU's racial justice agenda that seeks to finally address America's legacy of racism and oppression through policy asks to the Biden administration, local advocacy on our state and local level, and a legal strategy that seeks to strike down racist laws. And we're also going to devote significant investment and dedicated resources in the South, and then also work to align internal ACLU goals with our systemic equality agenda.
So the ACLU sent a letter to President Biden on systemic equality. What are you expecting to hear from the president and the administration over the next 4 years? And I guess, has he been receptive to the goals of the ACLU?
I think they have been receptive, and there have been lots of conversations. We think that the Biden-Harris administration really needs to step up and do significant work to reverse the toxic legacy of the past administration and live up to their promises in their oath and the promises that they made during the campaign to really make sure that the Constitution focuses on everyone. And I think the administration is open. That certainly has to.
That is good that you feel that the administration is open. You know, I don't know if a lot of people know about the ACLU, but they may not know that a lot of the work that you do is done in courtrooms. The ACLU sued the Trump administration over 400 times. I'm just curious, I don't know how often you find yourself in lawsuits with administrations. 400 times, is that sort of a typical number, do you know, for an administration?
I don't think it is typical. But the ACLU used all of our tools to rise to the moment after the Trump administration was sworn into office. And it was an unprecedented attack on the institutions and the rules and the laws and the norms that were important to protecting civil rights and civil liberties. So the ACLU stepped up then, and will continue to step up now to defend civil rights and civil liberties, to expand civil rights and civil liberties. But I don't know that we'll have to do it to the same extent that we did with the Trump administration. It certainly was unprecedented to file 400 lawsuits.
You know, the focus of the organization is to, you know, make sure that people's civil rights are protected. You talked about the work that needs to be done to sort of erase the damage that was done by the previous administration. Some of that stuff can be done in front of judges, but I'm wondering, sort of personally, are you concerned, or when you think about the lasting impact of the Trump administration, are you concerned about the changes that may have occurred in American society that you can't fix by going to court?
Absolutely. I think we always are concerned about the full range of the tools it will take to really advance civil rights and civil liberties. Litigation is only one tool. There certainly has to be efforts to rebuild, empower communities that have been impacted. We're going to devote significant resources to advancing conversations around racial equity, to increasing education about the concerns, the laws, the practices and policies that further entrench racial inequality. So I think that we understand that this has to be an integrated advocacy campaign that brings all of the resources that we have to bear, all of the skills, and all members of our community together to engage in this fight.
Deborah Archer, great meeting you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.